Serious divisions have emerged in Europe over Greece's decision to call a referendum on its bailout package. Prime Minister George Papandreou's shock decision to call a referendum has drawn veiled threats from Germany, just when everyone thought the plan for a €130 billion bailout and 50% write-down of Greece's huge debt was a done deal. Markets have dived on the news, and the Greek opposition, meanwhile, has called for snap elections, dismissing the idea of a referendum. Let's go live now to London and get the latest from our Europe correspondent, Phil Williams. Well, Phil, first of all, where is this referendum plan up to? Is there any question over whether it actually will go ahead? And if it does, how quickly?
Well, yes, that's a very salient point. We don't know when it's going to be. The earliest most people think it could happen, because it's a giant thing to organise, is January. That leaves weeks of uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds more confusion. Nicolas Sarkozy and Angela Merkel will have a phone hookup today to try and find out what's going on. This is totally unexpected. It's really thrown a bomb in the whole Eurozone project. And many people saying, well, are we back to square one? Are we actually even worse than that? Is Greece now heading inevitably towards default?
How is George Papandreou, I guess, justifying it? Why does he say that there needs to be a referendum?
Well, he really hasn't given a detailed explanation, a political explanation, beyond the simple, we're putting this to the Greek people. But he's avoided putting all the other hard decisions to the Greek people. He's forced it through the parliament with massive demonstrations, huge opposition, polling that says they don't want it. He's forced it all through. Why now at this 11th hour? Why is he suddenly going to the people? That hasn't been answered, and that's what the other European leaders want answered, because they see, well, we're heading for chaos yet again. They thought they'd ticked that one off just before the G20.
Well, indeed. I mean, what does this mean for that deal that was hammered out through a great deal of pain, it should be said, over the last week by European leaders? I mean, does it put an end to that deal potentially?
Potentially it does, absolutely, because if the Greek people vote no and the Greek government then says, OK, that's the will of the people, well, everything has to be renegotiated. And where does it leave that situation in Greece, where they are dependent on that 130 billion, and yet the Europeans will certainly not just hand it over unless they're very confident that the Greeks will follow through on their part of the deal. So what it does is put the whole issue of Greece and the Eurozone firmly centre stage back on at the G20. It was already going to be there, but this is in an atmosphere of far greater crisis than it would have just 2 days ago.
Well, as you say, more uncertainty, something the markets don't like, and they're not happy?
Not happy at all. The British market's down about 3%. The French and Germans over 4%. This is on top of an average of about 3% yesterday. So we're looking at losses of around 7, perhaps 8% over the last 2 days, and that really does express this uncertainty and wipes the euphoria from that arrangement just a week ago firmly off the map.
Phil Williams in London, many thanks.
Thank you.